start. We don't need no fanfare.
Too fast, too furious.
No, too furious. Oh my God!
Furious.
You just made up a new porn. Furious. Great way to start. Hi, everybody. Here.
Hey, Chapman.
What's up?
Wow.
There. I was like, I thought I saw people in there. What's up, Mark Lerzeth? I can never say your last name.
Lerzeth.
I'm slightly retarded or functional. Lana Smith. What's up, Mark? How's it going? Isaiah, what's up? Jetto, Van Helsing, Ryan Welsh, Stainless Steel Rat. We just saw the Red Band trailer for Cocaine Bear, and it actually looked pretty good. It's directed by Elizabeth Banks. That's how weird is that?
That's so bizarre.
But yeah, after the show, go check it out. It's pretty funny.
I think it would be a good double feature with Violent Night.
It would be, as long as Cocaine Bear is like not even an hour and a half, dude. It needs to be like an hour and 15 minutes. Like that will be a joke that gets whaled. But if you keep it kind of mysterious and then the Cocaine Bear comes like at the end, that'd probably work. But if it's like booking in at 2 hours, that's too long for a comedy.
That's just the problem with movies these days. It's like there is a certain length for a certain type of film. And I think comedies and most horror films should be 90 minutes, just straight up 90 minutes. You know, dramas can be 2 hours, but when you get 220, 240, you got too many cooks in there trying to, you know.
Yeah. Unless you're adapting like fantasy or like, you know, really deep. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings movie should be 3 hours. It's an epic, should be 3 hours. Yeah.
Superhero movies under 2 now. They need to get under 2 somehow, some way.
Yeah. How do all these superhero movies slide to like 2 hours and 40 minutes? Eternals is like 240, right?
Yeah. Eternals was too long. Wakanda Forever was too long. But I mean, like they were 2 hours and 39 minutes too long.
True.
They're terrible. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're on a time limit today.
Yes.
Because you have another live stream, and then we have a thing. But first, I'm going to introduce you, an X-Ray Girl, and then we'll talk about the thing. Hello, Chris Carr.
Hey, man.
I'm waking up, by the way. It's 2 hours earlier for me.
By the way, I'm 2 blocks from you, or 2 or 3 blocks where Gary is.
I can walk to his house
right around the corner. Yeah, I walked over to Gary's hotel, and we just like hung out in Old Town Pasadena. I was showing him all the dive bars and haunts and bars and restaurants and in downtown. And it's fun. I like living in a walkable city. It's very, you know, I will never not live in a walkable city. So it's a blast.
Yeah, this is like the last one that I can think of in LA. This is like an oasis in the hellhole that is your city. The hellhole that is this communist dystopia known as California.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Well, there's no because we actually did drive across the city, and Gary got to see the homeless tents up Wilshire Boulevard and throughout LA, and it's tragic. It's tragic.
Yep. I like your term for it. The homeless industrial complex. That's what they have going on in these cities now.
That's why there's no incentive to solve the problem. There's just an incentive to keep people homeless.
Keep people homeless. You contract. It's a moneymaker now. So
yeah.
It's trading in flesh practically. You're practically trading in flesh at this point. A government is. How fucking sick is that?
It's disgusting.
It's fucking disgusting. But hi, welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. Glad to have you. X-Ray Girl.
Hello. Hi. I would like to say this is the shopping I did for myself. I finally got my milk frother so I can make lattes.
Nice.
So it's the actual thing. I don't just say I'm gonna get a milk frother, and then Az laughs at me, being like, "That sounds dirty." So yeah.
Well, I mean,
Black Friday.
to be fair, every other thing out of your mouth on his streams is pretty dirty. So I mean, like, you can't blame him.
True, but it's also Az.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's true.
It's very much Az. Like, I did a stream with just Garrett, and it was so wholesome.
Garrett's wholesome boy. He is. Like, he hangs out with all us very crass people who are going straight to hell, but he's a good boy. Garrett's a good boy.
I feel like I toe the line between not good and good. So then it's like, Garrett's the angel, Az is the devil. I'm listening more to the devil. That's why I have a potty mouth. So
Perry is like, you talk to him, he's an angel, but like on memes and editing, he's Satan incarnate. Like, he will destroy you. He has no scruples. He doesn't care. Whatever makes him laugh, he'll do, and it's great. That's why we love him.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Well, I'm glad you got your milk frother.
It makes great lattes. I've been really wanting lattes recently. So
lattes are good. I can't touch those things anymore, but because I'm 53. But
I mean, I do it with like soy milk or almond milk. Almond milk is better, but
soy milk is poison. Don't touch that stuff.
Just a little. It's
bad for you. Yeah, I saw Drinker liked Andor. I didn't. And that's fine. Like, we disagree on stuff. Mahler did not like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I liked it. I thought it was good. Don't subscribe to Disney Plus though. Let's not get crazy. It's a 44-minute Christmas special. That's it, by James Gunn. It's the second to last thing he'll ever do for Marvel, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. Okay, so we're going to talk about Rings of Power falling off the Nielsen ratings. Well, the original. So they're gone. So it's officially a failure, and we'll get into that. We'll talk about Bob Iger's statements from yesterday. Did you get a chance to go over them, Chris? Did you, when you got home last night, did you listen to any of it?
No, I got home and
you went to sleep.
Yeah, dude, I'm just like dead because I got up like early in the morning and flew to Turning Point USA to do
That's right.
So I'm on Drew Hernandez's show on Friday. So, so yeah, I did. I don't want to say anything. I just like really good conversation. We talked a lot about Disney from a content standpoint and what they're doing, and yeah, really.
Is that you, X-Ray Girl? Sounds like there's a fan going on in the background. Is that me or?
It might be me. It might be me.
Nothing's coming through my mic because of the gate. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I've got my air conditioner on, but I don't think you can hear it. Maybe it is me. Hang on. Let me see.
Let me try muting my mic.
Mute your mic. Nope. Chris, is it you? No.
Hey.
God, I wonder if not.
So is it just you in real life?
It's you.
I can't hear it in my gate at all, but I can hear it through my headphones. It's so weird. You hear nothing? Okay, as long as you hear nothing, then that's fine. I can live with it. As long as as long as your experience is good, chat. That's all I'm concerned about. But yeah, it might be my air conditioner. I don't care. It gets hot in here, dude. Like, you turn it off, it gets super hot in here. And it's not even that hot outside, but we'll just have to deal for a minute. If it gets
You're
too
wearing
noisy,
a sweater.
I know, but I should be wearing a sweater because it's under 60 degrees. That's what I automatically do. I lived in San Francisco for 18 years. I lived in freaking hoodies. You had to. It's just the way it goes. But it's not a very temperature controlled hotel room. Okay. But nobody gives a shit. So I'm going to go on. We also have an announcement. All right. So, Chris, I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, what's the announcement?
I don't know. You tell me. Didn't you put a link in the private chat about it?
Oh, that. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yes, we are doing a it's going to be kind of a mini meetup in Los Angeles. If you dare to go there, if you do dress like you're in the second Mad Max movie, Road Warrior, that would just be advised. But yeah, no, we are going to see The Empire Strips Back. It's a burlesque show at the Montalban Theater tonight, and we have tickets to give away. So this is like a last minute thing, right? The show starts at 7 p.m. I think we'll be at this bar called the Frolic Room on Hollywood Boulevard. We'll probably just sort of pop in there to gather. And about a block away from that is the Montalban Theater, just pronounced just like Ricardo's last name, Montalban. Yep. And it's a small theater in LA, and it's the Star Wars burlesque show. I don't know if we can show the link that I sent.
I don't like this early. We can show it later. I think like after the first, like, after 45 minutes, we can show it.
But yeah, we've got a pair of tickets we can give away. I don't know how you want to do the giveaway, Gary. It's obviously got to be your main qualification is, can you go to the show tonight? Like if you can actually, if you're like in the LA area, surrounding Burbank, whatever, you can get to like Hollywood by 6 p.m. The show starts at 7 p.m. at the Montalban Theater. Like if you can get there, we got a pair of tickets for you. So
email me at Gary@nerdrotic.com. And I guess the first two people who can email me and be there for sure, you get 2 tickets, and we'll be there. There might be others there too. Like we can't say. You might recognize a couple of faces. I mean, we're not sure. I mean, I'm not 100% sure they'll show up. We already challenged one of them and called him a giant pussy if he doesn't show, but we'll see. We'll see if he's a giant pussy or not. We'll find out. And we'll expose him on the live stream. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, no, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's I've seen this show before in San Diego. I've seen it in Los Angeles. It's burlesque, right? So it's innocent. But it also has a sense of humor about itself. It's fun. It's all Star Wars themed. And The Empire Strips Back. Who knew that the Star Wars thing we most were looking forward to in 2022, in a year that Kenobi came out and Andor, would be a Star Wars themed burlesque show from Australia.
Yep.
But we are excited. So I can't wait. Can't wait.
Very excited. It'll be interesting. If anything, it'll be fun. Ryan for 50 euros says, just finished Willow's 2 episodes. What the fuck? How many more times is Disney going to horse fuck us? I'm just going to say it. Willow was super important, to this 13-year-old in 1988, and now they're burning it alive before my eyes. Why did Ron Howard sign on as executive producer? Because it's all one big woke club, and we don't want to be in it. And it's good that it's failing. And like on the heels of Disney losing $1.5 billion in one single quarter on streaming, on the heels of them firing their CEO in the middle of the night, replacing him with the tard who started all this shit. It was a panic move. And like people are like, where's the victory? I'm all, oh, there's so many victories in this. There's so many, because it's one of two outcomes. Disney fails or Disney changes. I'm good with both. I'm really good with both. Chances are it'll be failure before change. Look at Warner Brothers and Twitter. Were both forced into their positions because they gotten so woke, they gotten so dumb, so rotten to the core that you kind of needed to fire everybody to turn things around, and it still might not work. It still might work. Disney's there. Disney's been there for a long time. It's just when they are going to realize to change. So they bring out Willow. I watched 5 minutes of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this fucking show. Freckle Jesus is in the first scene. She's in a lesbian relationship. And I'm like, oh, well, this will be predictable. Oh, and the darkness is coming. The darkness, not the band. Just the darkness is coming again.
Gary, I really wish I had just, shot video of your face watching it, because it was so hilarious. Like, it's like, I told you when I first saw it, I thought, oh, Gary doesn't even need to see this to review it. He can just, you can predict everything that you're predicting in your head. It's like, it happens, and it's utterly ridiculous.
Well, it's a bunch of bland, diverse Disney actors being very bland. The lesbian relationship will be the blandest lesbian relationship ever. There will be no major conflict. They might fight once or twice, but they'll be just totally awesome by the end. We have one who wants to be the first female knight of the world, right? And then and listen, admittedly, when Willow came out, I was 18. So I wasn't a little kid. I wasn't a 13-year-old kid. I was 18. So I wanted to see all of Mad Mardigan was the only thing I gave a shit about. And there wasn't enough of them, quite frankly. And I kind of saw the movie as a disappointment, you know, as an older kid. I was like, I wanted something a little more badass. This was not badass. This was like a kid's thing. So whatever. But I know it means a lot to a lot of people. It'd be like them doing this to Goonies, right? Disney's creatively bankrupt. Warwick Davis is can't be the center of your show, and it's not going to be he's not going to be the center. It's going to be the lesbians. You know, it'll be the lesbians.
Well, as the show goes on, he's sort of the Gandalf, right? Like he actually becomes a big part of it. He's not really in the first episode till the very end, but he is one of the, he's not the lead, but he is an important character. And like you, Gary, I saw Willow when I was, you know, an older teen, and it didn't resonate with me as much with people who probably saw it when they were younger. I actually prefer Krull. I know it sounds weird, even though Krull has its own problems. Like Krull, I think, was a more serious and sort of a mix of fantasy and sci-fi, which I thought was really interesting. Like alien invaders on a medieval fantasy world. Like that's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, really cool. So, but yeah, this show is just, it's so dumb. And now that I've seen like a lot of episodes now, it's just utterly like, it's, you know, at its best, it's maybe like a bad episode of Xena Warrior Princess. And at worst, at its worst, it's just another Disney Channel show, not Disney Plus, Disney Channel. Like, you know, for kids, nothing is taken too seriously. That also is like part of like why it's maybe not as bad as like, you know, the Star Wars stuff we've seen recently. It doesn't take itself too seriously. And so like, maybe that's a good thing, but, it's more, Disney XD. Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly right. Like, that's sort of the
it's still like woke as shit though, and that still kind of irritates me. It's like that they're not so secret, like gay agenda is now become like just literally everything. And then Jake Kasdan coming out and saying, "Oh, it just felt natural that we made the leads lesbian." So that came naturally. That was not a mandate or a bullshit. Yeah, bullshit. Yeah, nothing fucking naturally happens at Disney. Everything is scripted. They script their fucking trips to the urinal, dude. Fucking everything is scripted. Jesus Christ.
And also, even like the you know, story that kicks off the quest, so to speak, is that the prince, Eric, is kidnapped by evil forces.
Oh yeah,
and the princess has to rescue
the princess, and her lesbian lover need to rescue the prince.
Yeah, I know. It's just like we're gonna flip on a modern fairy tale.
You know what? Like, that's where your comedy is, right? As you flip all these things, and then you see how like you realistically depict your average woman trying to save a prince, and it'll be funny. It'll be fucking funny. Maybe she still does, you know, just through dumb luck. But it would be funny. It's always got to be this stoic war. And by the way, I know a woman can, but we're talking about the Hollywood character version of it. And it's just a dude. It's just a dude. It's just a girl in pants acting like a dude. And they don't even act like girls. It's so fucking boring, dude. Like I'm so.
Oh, sorry, Gary.
No. I don't think this thing's. Well, we'll see. Maybe it charts. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. Well, there's like in a later episode, they come across these two women living in a cabin in the woods, and they are literally wearing blue jeans and cowboy hats. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? Like they don't even seem like they're in the same TV show. And they're clearly they become Dark Tower overnight.
Yeah, well, they're like two older women dressed like cowboys in the woods. Like, and they happen upon them. And it just seems like two different TV shows got mixed up. And it's just, there's a lot of dumb things. Like, I don't know. I don't remember because I watched 7 episodes. They ride their horses off of a cliff, literally off of a cliff. And it's the dumbest. It's just so unrealistic.
Did they hold hands?
No,
like
they don't hold hands.
Okay,
They
good.
ride their horses off a cliff into shallow water. And I don't know. It just looked dumb.
It just looks so bland, kind of like Andor. Andor looked I know everybody was like, oh, look, it's the reality of like the blue collar worker and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I worked those jobs. I remember like muddy, wet yards and shit. And like wow, that's not fun. There's nothing fun about it. It's void of fun. And you can be a serious thing and still be fun. I would argue that anything with massive pacing issues is not good. That would be my argument. Like if like you're falling asleep, it's not good. You're at least you don't like it, I'm worried about Disney ruining. Yeah, that is me. I'm going to turn that off. Ruining the Fantastic Four in the early 2000s. I'll read that again. I'm worried about Disney ruining the Fantastic Four. The early 2000s weren't great, but forgivable. But with everything going on, the FF can't catch a break. No, Dan, for $4.99. I'll ask. Chris loves the Fantastic Four as much as I do. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's adaptable. I think it is. There's no willingness to adapt it the way it should be adapted in the 60s. Very Kirby-esque. Like that's how you do it. This has to be a highly stylized with substance period piece with the Fantastic Four.
Absolutely, Gary. I mean, Peyton Reed, that was his original pitch to Marvel, was to set it in the 60s, as a period piece. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted to do before he got involved in Ant-Man. But that's the way to do it. I don't think they could do it. Now, I'll tell you why. Everything coming out from Disney is pushing modernity. It just is. Like everything from Doctor Strange, America Chavez, to Thor with Lady Thor and all the stuff happening with that, to Black Panther, to Strange World. There is not a single property that Disney's not involved with that isn't pushing it. So the only way to make the first family of Marvel, to translate that to the screen in a real way, is to do it with something rooted in family values. And the type of family values that I think Disney espouses these days are not one that is necessarily embraced by people who have families. like parents with children. Because when you look at, and I see a lot of people from Disney, you'll hear them speak on things and whatnot, and it's like I just look at the people making this and I'm thinking, do you even have kids? And that's what concerns me. It doesn't feel like, because I can feel authentically, I forget what movie it was that I saw that Joel Schumacher directed, and it was like Matthew McConaughey was in it. What was this film? It was a legal film, legal drama. Anyways, it bothered me because I thought a dad would never do that. A dad in a family with kids that age would not act that way. And it felt off. And I kind of feel like the reason some of these things feel off is the people making them don't even have kids at all.
Well, and if they do, I mean, nannies are raising a lot of the rich ones, right? Yeah. So they're not really raising their kids. They're not, it's just a fact. And yeah, they have no idea. And yeah, there's a huge disconnect. There's that disconnect that moral disconnect that we've seen in so many of the Marvel things. Like even in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, you haven't seen, they kidnap, Kevin Bacon, and Mahler's point was, hey, don't you think Drax would know, right? If it's bad to kidnap people. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a Christmas story. I don't care. but like when you go back and look at the Disney Plus stuff, and there's just like weird moral shit in there too. So yeah, I don't think this company has lost so much touch, and it would be I guess different if you're like Warner Brothers, you know, when you're not like we're all a kids brand, but Disney's like, it's a fucking kids brand. It's a girls kids brand. That's what it is, right? Tried to get into the boys market, completely can't do it. Like has no fucking idea. And as bad as like sometimes men can be at writing women according to women, like dude, women cannot write men. Like they fucking can't do it. Like one of the most obvious ones is Witcher. Holy shit. So yeah, there needs to be more broader experience, but like, dude, what they're with the bottom line with the Fantastic Four is like it's gonna look like that. Well, 3 or 4 videos ago, I had just a stock image of diversity, and that's what it's gonna look like. It's not gonna look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. Okay, it's just not. And then it's, I mean, no apologies here. Then it's not Fantastic Four. It's Disney's Fantastic Four. They're Disney's adaptation of the Fantastic Four, but it is not the Fantastic Four. Yeah. Now you can be something and an adaptation at the same time if you capture the spirit, and it's really for the public to decide. I think the public has decided that, you know, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings is definitely Lord of the Rings. It is in the spirit of Tolkien. People love it. That's pretty clear as far as adaptations are concerned. Early Marvel, same way. Tony Stark's Iron Man, Chris Evans Captain America, Chris Hemsworth Thor. The early stuff, absolutely. Gets debatable a little later, but you know, like that was Marvel adapting Marvel. Now it's going to be, Heinz 57, Fantastic Four. That's what it's going to be, and it's just not it. That's what I told a couple of directors when they were doing a Batgirl thing. I said, "Is like I understand you're just taking a job, but here's the 8 ball you're behind. You're not doing a Batgirl movie. You're doing the Latina Batgirl movie. And that's how people are going to see it on either side. That's how they're going to see it. That's not Batgirl. It's just automatically, it's not Batgirl. And then you lost that built-in audience that you paid so much for is just gone.
Well,
admit it or not.
What's really frustrating about it, Gary, is Stan Lee modeled Reed Richards after himself, right? Like the gray temples, the sort of, you know, the look, a little bit of the attitude, being the smartest guy in the room. It's somewhat based. I mean, Stan Lee based a couple characters. You know, J. Jonah Jameson is based on himself, a version of himself, Mr. Fantastic, and you know, it's also like I just wonder if can Marvel even make
Ben Grimm is Kirby,
right? Ben Grimm is Kirby, curmudgeonly, Yancey Street Gang, all that stuff. Like none of that's going to be in there. You know, at least Captain America made some attempt to like, you know, take the essence of that character and infuse it, you know, via Chris Evans, and it worked. You know, it worked for a couple. You know, I would say that's probably the best. You know, between First Avenger, you know, Winter Soldier and Civil War, like kind of the best trilogy of a character. You know, they ended up becoming like just Marvel movies after that, whatever. But I just don't see how they can make it. I think maybe even the best way to do the Fantastic Four would be to almost be like a Doctor Who like series where it's just every 50-minute episode is just some adventure. They're going to the negative zone. They're, you know, dealing with Doctor Doom. I mean, just like there's so many great characters to do I don't know, maybe kick it off with a movie but do a real series, but like by experienced writers instead of the writers they've got doing Hollywood stuff these days, which just seemed, you know, just incapable. I was talking with Paul Chato about this on another stream, and he was saying it's just subtext. Modern writers do not understand. They speak the subtext aloud, and it just makes the story seem dumb. So there you go. Wait, can you hear the leaf blowers and the yard?
No, I can't. No, it's
no.
Good. Oh, that's good because I can hear it pretty loud, but I'm glad you guys can't hear it.
No.
So
no, just my AC. When it kicks on again, I'll make sure to turn it off. Hey everyone, we want to thank you again for keeping up the fight and inspiring people like us to start our own channel. Oh, good. We just released a video about Marvel, and we have a DC one coming out on Saturday, and that is King's Advisors. Go check it out. Thanks for the $9.99. I will look at it. I will look at it. There's a lot to discuss right now. One needs to come out of the gate like pretty hot, or they're dead, and that's DC.
Yeah,
I don't think Robert Pattinson's Batman's coming out of the gate hot. I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
We were talking about it.
Yeah,
kind of the best superhero movie.
It is
here.
like, the Batman is the best superhero movie of the year.
Yep,
it is, and it has a dumb ending. So that's not good for superhero movies because there was a lot of superhero shit. I would say that like my favorite superhero thing is probably Guardians Christmas Special. But that again, that's not 10 out of 10. All right.
Was Spider-Man this year? I thought it was this year.
Spider-Man was last year.
Oh crap!
At the very end of it though, it was like around Christmas.
That's why.
So,
Never mind.
Kinda. Yeah, no, Spider-Man No Way Home, the extended version, that's my favorite superhero movie of the year. That was good. There was plenty of extra stuff in it. Hail, I bought Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit 4K collections edition from Amazon, then got refunded when it was delivered as payment for Rings of Power. Also, I can get some horror music comedy recommendations for you all from y'all. Love to all. Horror movie / comic recommendations. Oh, well, dude, there's one that's both. Have you seen, but you've had is it Toenail Nibbler? Ew. I mean, okay. Now, Creepshow. There's a graphic novel and there's a movie. You can see it. There's both. And it's like a riff on EC Comics. Stephen King when he was coked up and not an angry lesbian. Because that's what he is now. Uncle Pickle for $20 says, would Disney be better off if they adapted George Lucas, Chris Claremont trilogy? Yes, but they won't. Like, that's the thing is like, you'll have the X-Men. They won't call it the X-Men. The X-Men's already like diverse as you can get. They'll make it like 50 times more diverse and it'll just be dumb. And Wolverine will be played by some effeminate, skinny actor like Timothy Chalamet or fucking Ezra Miller, or Daniel Radcliffe or something like that. You know, like not a dude, not some alpha dude that Wolverine is, you know. Like, you know, Hugh Jackman, yeah, he's into the song and dance, but he's still an alpha dude. He is. I was watching X3 for a minute last night. X-Men 3, The Last Stand. Holy shit. I hadn't seen that in a while. I'm like, oh. There's like Kelsey Grammer's Beast is fucking awesome casting. That is so good. Yeah. And it's wasted in there. Kroll and Willow have a special nostalgic place in my heart, says Leon. Yeah, a Kroll for sure. Not Willow, but that's probably because of my age. I was 18. I wanted something a little more badass. Oh, really? The female lead in Kroll was graped by Harvey Weinstein. It wasn't everybody. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're kidding.
Really?
What?
No shit. Oh my God, that fucker. I love that he had the balls to criticize She Said from prison. Did you hear about that?
Wait, I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta tell me, Gary. What's going on?
Yeah, Ryan was talking about it like that. Yeah, he made a comment on it. And yeah, he said something to the fact of like, no wonder why it failed or some shit like that. He's like, I had produced it would have won Academy, something like that. It's just like, dude, throwing shade from prison. What a fucker. Oh my God.
He should just go like full Trump on Twitter and just go nuts on because the thing that has not come out about that is there are women currently with Oscars on their shelves.
Yes.
Traded favors to get to the position that they're in, who currently have an Oscar, and none of them spoke out. The only people speaking out are people who, it's just I just will there be a finally a real honest conversation about that where it's just like, yeah, you know, I participated in that in the early days of my career. That was how you got parts, and everybody just accepted it. So I don't know, man. I mean, you could speculate based on people who worked with him, but it's surprising that a lot of those people remain tight-lipped, so to speak. So there you go.
Yeah, and like I talked to an actor last week. Probably guess I talked to there's 2 actors I've ever talked to. One of them is Gina Carano, which is like a couple times, and there's another one. Ryan knows him, and he said everybody fucking knew. Everybody knew, and we knew as fans. Like Seth MacFarlane was like joking about it, but he was like in his own way trying to bring attention to it, to his credit.
Right.
So yeah, he was just a powerful dude, piece of shit. But there's so many other pieces of shit that you were just saying, like who didn't say anything. And that's what you want to be an honest movie, and that Hollywood will never do it. But you want to be an honest movie, man. You do some digging. Fuck making a drama. Make a doc. Make a real life doc where it like digs and tries to find out like who knew, how much did they know, when did they know it, why did it stop, why did it stop at women, and why like it never got really into men.
Yeah,
which is, by the way, just as bad in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even worse, if it can get worse, kids. Why did that not even get brought up? Right. Didn't even get close. You know, if Hollywood wants to lose that stigma of being diddlers, they have a lot of work to do, and that thing's gonna bust open someday. Someday it's gonna bust open. And you brought up like, why doesn't Harvey just fucking spill? Like he's got nothing to lose, but he does. He does. Like if he spills and somebody spills on him, I think he still holds out some hope that he's gonna get out. He probably has some hope that he's going to get out. That's probably it. Or otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if he just like turned. But the thing is, he's more guilty. He's as guilty as anybody else, so he wouldn't be able to get like like you get to go home deal. I doubt it. So I think his lips will remain sealed on that, and it'll have to be somebody else.
I would just want to see else. I want to see a movie of Harvey Weinstein in prison, producing like some show in prison, prison show where he's just in prison. He's offering guards like parts. He's sort of like, his whole personality as a producer just hasn't changed. Just, you know, the location. He's in prison doing the same stuff, putting together a show, making deals, yelling at people, berating like underlings, you know, putting together. He's, you know, making like, Two-Face Mickey, one of his producers, and this, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of, it could be a weird, that could be kind of fun as a comedy. I would watch that comedy. I would watch a comedy about Harvey Weinstein's adventures in prison.
If Harvey was younger and he was in prison, he would turn into a shot caller. Absolutely. That's his personality. I think he absolutely would be like a tank captain.
Yeah.
But dude, it's done him, man. It's broken him.
Well, that was the one thing that was actually funny about, like, she said they never actually show Harvey Weinstein's face. They have an actor that plays like his body double and like the back of his head, but he sounds just like him. Like you just hear him on the phone and in conversations, sounds exactly like Weinstein. In fact, Howard Stern used to have a guy who imitated Harvey Weinstein that would call up and just like act like a jackass. And of course that ended. I don't know. Stern had just, I haven't listened to Stern since, 2019. I think I just sort of fell off.
Dude, yeah, it's been like 10 years. Like I stopped when I went to XM.
No, I listened to it. Like it was good. I mean, but like the arty stuff got really, this should be a side conversation for you and I, but like, yeah, I really used to love Howard. And I kind of feel like lately, like, especially since like he just has gotten like total like TDS and just he's gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
Makes me sad.
He's a fucking sellout.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Charles for $20 says, after the MJ split from Peter at the end of No Way Home, spoilers, what would you do about a subplot with Felicia Hardy Cindy Moon and Kitty Pryde having a triangle fight with over Peter. I mean, are you talking about like in normal times? I'd be fine with it. In these times, they would probably be on an adventure leading Peter around. So I'd fucking hate it. I'm fine. Felicia Hardy is a big part of it, and why not? Why not bring in Black Cat? It doesn't work out, so you just have a relationship that doesn't work out, and then you bring in the real Mary Jane. I don't know. And that's a precursor. Like they don't even have a Spider-Man 4 yet, that's nuts, dude. They just had a huge hit and they don't have a fucking deal. It's a little weird, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's weird. But
Sony buys Legendary. What? And they're not co-financing the products. That's the weird. So Legendary is going to fund their own shit. They're just going to what it's the weirdest deal I've ever what is Sony?
Well, Sony's like
distributing.
Yes, okay. Sony's the distributor. So I wonder when that deal happens, because that would include Dune.
It doesn't.
Dune and Godzilla.
Dune. Okay. So, the last Warner Brothers Dune movie will be the next one. But from then on, it's Sony doing Dune, and it's Sony doing. And I think Sony doing Godzilla just. Sorry, makes more sense.
It does make more sense.
It just does.
Yeah.
Okay. For all those reasons, that's right. Ultimately, that company is in Japan, and that's where Godzilla belongs. Okay.
Right.
I don't know what to make of it. I mean, it seemed like a big deal, but if you consider the flops that came from Legendary, it's like, ooh, they had a couple pandemic successes that would have been bigger if Warner Brothers hadn't fucked it up in hindsight. But other than that, they showed that they had some flops too. And that's probably why Warner Brothers just let them go. It's like, that's fine. Warner Brothers is looking to cut wherever the hell they can. So it's going to be weird what they do with DC. Eddie Lombardo for $20. Years ago, Marvel made a direct DVD movie of the Man-Thing. I remember. I watched it. It was on Sci-Fi. It aired on Sci-Fi. And I remember thinking that it was just okay. I'm more excited to rewatch it than I am for anything Disney Marvel has crapped out since Endgame. Yeah, I mean, the one theme that's even in Guardians, the holiday special, which I guess it's supposed to, but it's still it. Honestly, the Guardians holiday special takes a couple of things a little more serious than anything in the fucking MCU. Just a couple of things. It's a couple of things. It's mostly just a silly Christmas show. Okay, that's what it mostly is. But there's one little plot thread that I don't know. I think I was fine with. That's supposed to lead into the movie.
Wow.
And you told me the movie's going to be it's going to be a small movie. It's not going to be we're fighting some giant beam shooting up in the sky or celestials or anything. It's going to be a character driven movie, which is I'm down with that. I'm completely down with that.
I think that's I mean, after if the fate of the multiverse is at stake, how much bigger can something get? It's sort of ridiculous. Coming back to a more human story, I think I think it'll be a breath of fresh air for sure. I don't know. Quantumania looks kind of all over the place. I don't know. It just looks they all shot the whole thing on green screen. It's them running around. I don't know. That I didn't get much out of that trailer that came out for Ant-Man.
No, it looks like dog shit. It does.
It does.
I think Guardians is the last hope of the last good. And I don't even know how it'll probably be Guardians 2 good. It won't be the first one. And you think about it, what a massive fuck up by Disney. That could have been your biggest property, your biggest IP. And you took this obscure team, which quite frankly, I mean, a lot of the stuff that James Gunn gets credit for from the normies was done in the comics. They did a really good Guardian series, in the mid 2000s. It was really fucking good. And that's where they got most of the stuff from. But yeah, it could have been their biggest property, and well, they fucked up. Enoch Maman for $20. Chris says, I saw RRR. Good movie. I describe it as if Sam Raimi and Zack Snyder co-directed an 80s buddy cop movie that was choreographed by Yen Wu Ping, done as a Bollywood musical set against the backdrop of British colonialism, I can talk, with an A+ rating from the NRA.
It is very 2A. It's very much supportive of 2A, let's say.
Yeah.
And it's bizarre that I kind of feel like this film RRR, and thank you for that and the support of the channel. And I'm glad, like, I think I got Drew Hernandez to want to check out RRR. But it's weird. It's like it sort of appeals to both sides of this political spectrum. It's sort of this anti-colonial message, along with to keep yourself free, you actually need a gun. So,
yep,
yeah,
that's why 2A exists. That's why it exists. The Grizzly for $10. Isn't it weird that the Fodzilla franchise, you mean Godzilla? I read Fodzilla. Godzilla franchise is the only movie universe multi-shared cinematic wherever that's not woke. Like, it's the only one that isn't doing "my woman, strong men, bad" nonsense. Yeah, because ultimately it's like the monster, right? I still think, like, the versions I've seen, just too many humans. I don't give a fuck. I just want to see the monsters fight. That first, the American Godzilla that came out 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. That first trailer where they do the Oppenheimer speech, it's fucking awesome. That is a great trailer. That is just a great trailer, because that's like, holy shit. I mean, the movie didn't really deliver on the promise of that trailer. It was okay, but God, that was a good trailer. When I first saw that, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be the best movie of the year.
And they used music from Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yep.
Remember, like, this sort of like this haunting, like Godzilla was like a force of nature, not just a creature. And the actual movie was such a letdown compared to that trailer.
No, the trailer, like, it sets it up. It was 2014. Thank you, Liberty Primus. I'll watch it again. We probably won't get dinged on it, but dude, you watch that trailer, you're right. Like, it gives you this sense of fear. Like, it's almost like nuclear war, which he is an analogy for. It is like, this thing cannot be stopped. We're fucking dead. Yeah. And that is cool. And they just never delivered on the promise because of the people.
Yeah.
The Grizzly for $20. Also, I'm getting really sick and tired of all the shared cinematic multi-universe franchises. Thon pump out one movie every 2 months. That feels like all the different movies are just the same movie with a different coat of paint. They are. I mean, that's fucking Disney right now. Yeah. Look at how much shit. Like, I in my last Marvel video, I rattled off the list of phase 4. And I do believe phase 4, correct me if I'm wrong, kids, has as many things in it as the first 3 phases. At least most of the first 3 phases. Dude, there's a lot of things in there. I rattled off like 14 things. It might be first 2 phases, we'll say.
Right.
We'll say first 2 phases. That's insane. That's insane. So you're watering down your product. You're filling it full of woke fucking garbage. So, like, it was going to get watered down anyway. And then you put the woke garbage in there, which just kills it. And now you're going to be in like apathy level with, like, with Andor. It is Star Wars apathy, but it's also, Andor just looks fucking boring. Like, normies are not going to go to Diego Luna, who is a charisma vacuum, and go see this bland, boring thing, no matter how well put together it is. And they tried. Disney, they put it everywhere. There's ads for it. Fucking, like, I'm watching, hotel TV, so I see ads for the first time in forever.
Oh no,
dude! There's Willow ads. There's Andor ads. Don't be surprised if Willow ends up on Hulu. Don't be surprised if they combine them all. Like, they're eventually going to have to do that. Disney has to pay for Hulu in 2024. They have to pay a lot of money. I forgot what it was to Comcast for the last portion of the sale.
Yeah.
Leipziger gnome for $10. I read a great book about Stephen. Oh, no, I hate it when it just. Why did it do that? Hang on, I'll find it again. It just disappeared on me.
You want me to read it?
I got it. I think I got it. Yeah, you read it. Go.
I read a great book about Steve Alpert, an American who worked for Studio Ghibli in Japan. He details some hilarious stories of Harvey Weinstein and Disney trying and failing to change Ghibli's work for $10.
Thanks.
Sweet.
Hey, Harvey Weinstein was instrumental in getting the Lord of the Rings trilogy made to the point where he's on it, but he had nothing creatively to do with it. He just sold the rights. Thank God. Polaris sucks for 5 Canadian pesos. Hail Neurotic Extra Girl and the legend himself, Chris Gore.
Nice.
Hail legend.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Motto for $10. Thank you for the donation. Eric K for $2. Drugs are bad, man. Yes, they are. That's why I don't do them anymore. What? Thanks, Eric. What Gary and Chris? Is it what up? What up, Gary and Chris? I'll be in Pasadena area today for my business. Let's get some coffee. Well, I'm in Pasadena right now, but I will be going to Burbank right after the show. And then Chris has a show.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then I have a show at 1 p.m.
You can meet us at Empire Strikes Back Burlesque.
Empire Strips Back.
Strips Back.
Or the Frolic Room.
The Frolic Room. We'll be at the Frolic Room.
This just sounds so fun.
It's
Go
frolicky.
frolicking with us.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a lot of trouble. Captain Palsy for $5. What's up, man? X-Ray Girl needs to talk to Xi Jinping and get him back off the West X-Ray. Can you do that?
What does that mean? Get him back off the West, like
I don't know.
West Coast,
West Side.
West. I don't know.
Get off of Winnie the Pooh. I don't know.
You'll have to...
Boogie Boo for $10 says there is no soy milk. There is no almond milk. Milk comes from titty. You're drinking soy and almond juice.
Okay.
Well, almonds fine. Not soy. Almonds are real. I like almonds. I don't like milk. I'm not a big milk guy.
I have a joke, but it would be bad.
Whatever.
Oh,
No. Tell your joke.
okay.
you go.
What about milk of the soy boy?
Milk of the
Oh.
soy boy.
I'm joking. I don't want that either.
I like Terry, loath to admit, I actually
Right, you're not allowed to joke anymore.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'm loath to admit that I actually like milk, but I don't drink it anymore just because I just try to cut down on dairy. But because I'm an adult, I can have cereal for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I've often used, I'm sorry, I'll have some almond milk and I'll have some cereal.
Almond milk for cereal. Yeah, that's it. I don't use cow milk. I haven't touched that stuff in forever.
No, almond milk for me.
Nope.
I can't have lactose anyways, so
There you go.
that's why.
You're so intolerant
Mm-hmm.
to the lactose. Leon K for $4.99. I loved Willow as a kid. Mad Mardigan was an awesome hero, and James Horner's soundtrack is Chef's Kiss. And James Horner was awesome, man. Look how they massacred my boy. Fuck Disney. Yeah, fuck Disney. You're gonna hate it. You're gonna Chris you were asking me like, oh, I wonder what Shad's gonna think about. Well, Shad's gonna go, this is retarded. This is a work shit. That's what he's gonna say.
I hate it.
The
swordplay and stuff is just so amateur. It's like a fan film. It's there's nothing special about that. Which is why I really want to hear what Shad has to say.
Oh,
but
he was ripping the Mario trailer. One of them on Night's Watch was ripping the Mario trailer. The Mario, Super Mario World, whatever. I have no opinion on it.
Yeah, I don't really. It's for kids. It's for kids. But I'll probably end up seeing it anyways because I like the Nintendo 64 version of Super Mario. But what's weird is, as bad as Willow is, it's actually better than Rings of Power. It's better than Rings of Power.
Okay.
I'm serious, at least on a entertaining, like I like trauma movies, right? Like
yeah,
you know what you're getting. Like, I know I'm about to see a bad film. It is the Toxic Avenger, Citizen Toxie, and it's entertaining because it doesn't take itself too seriously. And there are aspects of Willow that I think are like that are like, this is so bad. why am I still watching this? And then it's like, you're like, I wonder if it'll even get more bad. And then it does. And so I don't know. I'm not necessarily hate watching it, but I'm like, I can't believe this. But like, I never felt that with Rings of Power. Rings of Power was a slog. Rings of Power was like doing homework that for a class that I hated. It was an awful experience. And I think you might have some more news about Rings of Power, Gary, which you were telling me yesterday. But you know, there was nothing about Rings of Power that I liked. Not any of the actors, not like, just everything about it was just ill-conceived and terrible. And they leaned into bad ideas and kept doing them, like the Harfoots. And Willow at least is less bad, but it's like bad in the sense of like entertaining bad, if that even makes any sense. I think like just having survived Rings of Power, which was terrible, Willow might be better than Rings of Power, but that's like better in the sense of like, just like, it's just not as painful to watch.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's a good example? Like Thor Love and Thunder sucked. I don't want to see it again. But if I had to see something again, I would see that over Rings of Power.
Right.
They both fucking suck. But at least like Thor had somebody I once liked in it.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? I didn't like anybody or anything in Rings of Power. There was nothing good about it. Visually, I thought it was very bland. The music, bland. The acting was terrible. The sets were pretty terrible. It felt small. The story was some of the worst writing I've ever seen. It was repurposed garbage. There's no redeeming quality. You could shit can the entire first season and nobody would give a fuck and start over. Actually, that would be preferable. If you want to survive, just erase everything from. Now, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But that would be your only way to survive. This is why corporations really can't do film, because they're going to start like shit's going to start flopping hard like this did, like Rings of Power did. That's a flop. It's a flop. It did not get Amazon the amount of subscribers they needed to cover $1 billion fucking dollars. And yes, they're in $1 billion by now with the new studio that they're building. They're already filming season 2. They just wasted a bunch of money leaving New Zealand, plus the 200 and whatever million. Well, whatever the price was that they got the rights. It's up to 700 million. It's up to $1 billion now. They're never getting that back. Like ever getting that back. God. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. By the way, I think the CW books being opened up, like, I think that opens up the books for a lot of other places too. I think it's a very similar situation where every dollar being made is $2 being spent. It's certainly that way at Warner Brothers. So let's share this. All right. So I was listening because you sent it to me. The OneRing.net was live from the Smuggler's Cantina, which is here in LA. That's where Kevin Smith does his
the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which is a Star Wars themed bar.
Yep. And yes, we could have crashed it. It was like open to the public. Like Chris and I could have gone.
Well, let's go tonight. Let's go tonight. If some of the that could be sort of an impromptu meetup after the Empire strips back, we could all meet at Scum and Villainy. Like,
hang on, I gotta take somebody to task. Prime does not pay for the series; needs to pay for itself ultimately. So Amazon's still making money; they're still making tons of money. But if things were going great, why did they lay off 10,000 employees?
Yeah.
And they're going to lay off more. Why have we not heard any words? So the series needs to pay for itself. Amazon Prime is not Prime Video. Prime Video is part of Amazon Prime, and Amazon themselves conflate it. But Amazon Prime Video needs to be self-sufficient for it to exist, because Amazon doesn't fucking need it. This is a vanity project. This is a vanity project for Bezos that they will cut. They will cut if they don't fucking need it. Amazon doesn't need a streaming service. What the fuck do they need a streaming service for?
Right.
Yeah. So no, they raised the price on Prime because you want to know why they raised the price on Prime? Gas is more expensive. Money is worth less. It's called inflation. But it has nothing to do with Rings of Power. Rings of Power is a massive flop that could not and did not pay for itself. And even if you fucking raised $1 on Prime, how's that going to cover $1 billion fucking dollars? $1 billion on Prime Video, not Prime Video. Two different things.
I would argue, Gary, that most people don't even know they have Prime. And by that, I mean, when I signed up for Prime, I was signing to get free shipping on stuff that I buy from Amazon. That's why I pay for it, right? It's like, all right, so I'm kind of advancing partial payment for the shipping for stuff I'm going to buy. I remember when I figured out I had Prime Video that it was like, oh, that's included. I didn't even know I had it. Now, in their defense, most of the stuff I watch on Prime Video, I mean, I've watched The Boys, but what I like on Prime Video, they've got a lot of weird old 1950s sci-fi and horror. Like in 60s too, they've got like Toho monster movies, like Gamera movies and you know, stuff like War of the Gargantuas. And what's cool is the Gamera movies are the Japanese versions with English subtitles. So, and I've never seen those versions. So a lot of the stuff, when I go down a rabbit hole, I watch Johnny Sacco and his giant robot. Like, so a lot of this stuff, oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, that was a series, but there's like a movie version of it that's like 90 minutes. But like a lot of the stuff I watch on Prime is not the A-list stuff. I'm watching like, oh, I can't believe they have, you know, just some obscure, bizarre, like Japanese sci-fi movie, you know, like Atragon or something.
Yeah. And I like to point out that Prime Video cancels shows all the time. It canceled The Expanse early.
Yeah.
Which it did. Shortened season early. It canceled The Tick, which was good. It was actually a good show. So they cancel shit that's not being watched. They're not going to put money in it. Like, they're a business. They're not a charity. And the reason they're the $1 trillion business that they are is they are fucking brutal. And if something's not making money, it goes. So we'll see how long this goes. We'll see. We'll see. I was told by somebody who worked on the fucking show that this thing it couldn't just be a hit. It had to be a monster hit. And it wasn't even a hit. It was a blip.
Yeah.
And monster hit in streaming is your show charting weeks after it airs. Because now all the episodes are in, so the minutes will build up. So it should be easier because more people can binge it, and it's not weekly. Like Dahmer was charting forever, right? Cobra Kai was charting for a long time. Stranger Things season 4 was charting for a long time. You're going to see Wednesday's probably going to, well, it supposedly beat Stranger Things. I don't know if it'll chart as long as, but it might. Tim Burton's very popular amongst the Hot Topic kids. But yeah, it's already gone. It's gone off the charts. And not just the overall charts, it's off the original. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power completely falls off Nielsen charts just 2 weeks after season finale. By the way, it's been more than 2 weeks, but the Nielsen's come out, they're delayed a month. Rings of Power completely fell off Nielsen's top 10 charts just 2 weeks. Who could have saw that coming? Who could have saw that coming? Oh, all of you. The show raked in 1.137 billion minutes and placed second on Nielsen's overall, listed behind The Watcher. The Watcher. That was back when it premiered. The series would completely fall off Nielsen's overall list in just a week. I tweeted that, yeah. And then, however, it did disappear. It did still appear on the original ranking. It placed fifth, a total of 570 million minutes viewed. Now, originals is like it's only on streaming. You're not airing it linearly. And that's why House of the Dragon isn't on this list, but that's why House of the Dragon was soundly beating Rings of Power consistently, despite what Screen Rant and others will try to tell you. Interesting, it fell behind Netflix's Dahmer, which was released all 10 episodes on September 21st in one go. Dahmer racked up 599 million minutes viewed, according to Nielsen, because those chicks really love dark murder mysteries. Well, that's not a mystery. True crime shit. That's what they like. 1 week later and 2 weeks following the premiere of the season finale, the Rings of Power fell off Nielsen's original chart. Somebody's got to get the memo to Bounding to drop the Lord of the Rings in front of Rings of Power. Yes, that's a sign of disrespect, because I have no respect for it. It was also beat by Dahmer. Again, Dahmer continued to maintain an audience, albeit its viewership declined to 354 million minutes viewed, but it maintained. Look at that. I don't see. There's Andor is 8, and it's barely being watched. It's being beat by Unsolved Mysteries, The British Baking Show, Love is Blind, From Scratch. Oh, Dahmer's still there on the bottom. Yeah, poor Andor. I don't feel sorry for it at all. Fuck it. A Business Insider report back in August from before the release of the first episode of The Rings of Power claimed Amazon would sound the trumpets of victory around the show regardless of actual viewership. An alleged former senior Amazon studio executive cited the report, saying the reason why it's going to succeed is because the executives at Amazon need it to succeed. I can corroborate that statement, by the way, from somebody. If it doesn't succeed, there's going to be a big question from Amazon Chief Executive Officer Andy Jassy on the board. Yes. So they've been quiet because of this is what I've heard, because they want to win awards, but like behind the scenes, it's a shit show. It's a total shit show. But they can't fire anybody because of optics. Optics control so much, and I don't know why, because it's not like, Chris, it's not like people actually respect each other in Hollywood that much. You know what I mean?
True.
But I think they just don't like publicly embarrassing somebody is one of the worst crimes you can do in Hollywood, unless of course you're trying to cancel them. That's different. But publicly embarrassing somebody means you're never working that, especially if you do it to a producer. So the currency in Hollywood, their love language is ego, is fucking ego. Okay. That's their fucking love language. Don't fuck with my fucking ego. But it also keeps so much shit from being fixed. Like, oh, we don't want to bruise Jar Jar Abrams' ego. We don't want to bruise, Kurtzman's ego by firing him, or Sonequa Martin Green by firing her, or Jodie Whittaker by firing her. It's like, who gives a fuck about your fucking ego? Like, you're not good. So, like, that's been a more recent thing, is optics. But we're finding out that those are starting to count less. Now, the big behemoth corporations like Amazon and Disney, they're still going to count, because these are two corporations that just cannot admit defeat or they're doing anything wrong. And I don't think you can do business in the future like that anymore. I think companies need to find humility. They need to go, you know what? We might have fucked up on that one. And they might find out that the stockholders might freak out for a day, but the public will be fine. They'll be, oh, that's kind of cool. Wow, they did something human. Wow, crazy. And everything's driven on, you can't admit defeat or your stock price might go bad for a day, so instead we'll just ignore it, and then your stock price will just dive over the course of a year. I don't know why some of these people get paid so much. They're so fucking stupid. But here we go.
You just know, Gary, as a small business owner, I know you may have mentioned in the past you owned a comic shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as a small business owner, that being in the red for period, quarter after quarter after quarter, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable at all. So the fact that there are just so many bombs in a row, we're not talking about how great a success of a film is or how much money a movie made. Now it's about exactly how much is Strange World going to lose, or how much is Amazon going to lose? And can they afford to lose it by some other. I remember talking to a producer, an executive over at HBO. This is before HBO was HBO Max. A woman named Sheila Nevins. She ran all their reality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at Sundance. She gave a talk, and I got in a really fascinating conversation with her. And she's just like, oh, like all the documentary social issue stuff, all that loses money. It all loses money. Like if we're going to be doing, doing a documentary about this social issue or that social issue, I know all of those lose money. But because was head of reality, they would do something like a G-Strings Diva.
Yep.
Do you remember G-String Divas?
Yes, I do.
What was that Real Sex show?
Yes, I do. Oh, everybody remembers Real Sex.
I love that show.
Come on.
I love that show, Real Sex. But it was like an analytical look at sex. It wasn't like super overtly dirty. It was sort of just interesting from a social standpoint. But her whole thing was like, look, for every one of these like social docs, I got to do something that makes money. The dirty secret of HBO was all those late night shows, Real Sex, G-String Divas, all of them did huge ratings, huge, or any sort of cheesy thing that had, look, there's a reason a lot of shows on HBO have nudity. People, they want to pay for it. They want to see it. It's behind a paywall. I love it. Those shows, they're great. But then it allows them to go off and do these things that don't make money. How many things can these studios do that don't make money? And where are they making it up? Are they making it up on just Amazon as a shopping platform that's keeping the Prime Video alive? That must be the case, because are they reporting record profits for things like The Boys or other Amazon shows?
Well, I don't know if it counts. Okay. But I think the driver to Prime Video is like, I think that, like, Amazon should just stick to a la carte. Like, you can rent whatever the fuck you want for like one view. Like, just do that. Why would you do that? And the streaming service. I bet you they do much better on like the rental. On like, I'll just like watch a few episodes of Farscape or whatever was on there at the time. It just makes more sense, and then you don't have to put much into it, and like you don't have to produce stuff. And that's probably eventually what they're going to figure out. They're going to like, we can just license shit. Yeah. Why do we make our own shit? We'll just license it. We're the big dog. Everybody needs to sell it here. So it was a massive Jeff Bezos vanity project, and it played out like it, and it turned into a giant disaster. So here is the Green Dragon gossip from our good friends at hang on, I've got a clip for them. I got a clip for them. There they are.
Look, this is crazy, man. Don't y'all smoke that shit. Easy to ride. Look, man, this is crazy, man. I'm telling you. Just fighting in traffic, bruh. Look, he needs somebody to spot with. I go spot with this. Look, this is crazy. He tired now.
He tired now. I love that clip. That was from One Ring, like just came out, and I think wasn't it they called everybody bigots? Like we were like, whoa, wow, from you? Come on. And then that started a whole thing. And I was in the forums over 20 years ago. So I'm old school, been around that site like that. They were my go-to. So they did a live stream last night from the Smuggler's Cantina that Chris sent me. And in the live stream, this is their rumor, not mine. So, but they said it was Justin, right? Justin
Sewell. Yeah.
Justin Sewell, who said that Ishmael Cruz Cordova ain't going to be in next season. No Aaron Deere. And I think he said Bronwyn too. So I don't think either of them are going to be in next season. According to him.
Right. That tells me there's going to be a soft reboot, or at least a retooling of that. We all sort of speculated that there would be like a soft reboot of it. Like they're not going to give it up. They pumped a lot of marketing into it, but they are actively looking for ways to make the show better. I mean, what would be the common complaints? I mean, well, the writing is bad. It's not well cast. I mean, it's almost on every level. It kind of fails. So I don't know how you're going to turn it around, at least with like the difference between Star Trek the motion picture and Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan is it's vast. It's a different tone. It's they brought in other elements. They changed the set and the wardrobe, and the writing was more from a TV standpoint. I mean, it's dramatic, but there were a lot of great things about Star Trek the motion picture. They just made Star Trek II more broad appeal. But that's how vast of a pivot that they're going to have to make if it's going to, if it's going to work.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Star Trek the motion picture had a great cast that was still great in that movie.
Right.
It's not like they had this great cast, and like Star Trek the motion picture was a well-written, I mean, a little slow. And I just said it, like, if you have pacing, a lot of people didn't like it because it's just too fucking slow. I liked it. I thought it was very Star Trek. But like, I was also there opening night, as a kid. So every time somebody hit the screen, people were screaming and yelling. Like when McCoy showed up and he had the beard on, people were just freaking out. And Spock showed up. Like it was really cool experience to be in. That being said, Star Trek II is sexier and cooler. I don't think you can do that with this cast. I don't think that's possible. It is so wildly miscast. Kella Brimbor is just some of the worst casting, period. The guy playing Gil Galad probably could play it if, I don't know, better writers. I think he could look like the part, but the mullet, and I don't know, a little pudgy, but that's me. Everybody talks about Elrond. Elrond is fucking, Robert Armeo as Elrond is terrible. He's fucking terrible, horribly miscast. Will Porter would have been 1,000 times better, but I can see why he left the project. He probably read the scripts and went, I think I hear my mom calling. I got to go, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some cigarettes. Yeah. But no, you can't fix this, Chris. Like, let's be real.
Well, you'd have to recast, especially,
recast.
Yeah.
New directors.
Think of all the change. You really just like, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's possible. I'll give you, it's possible, but I don't think Amazon is willing to do. No, I know Amazon is not willing to do what it takes to change it.
Yeah.
An alleged former. Okay. So yes, again, this thing needed to be Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
It needed to chart, and it needed to chart for a long fucking time. And it's not, it's done. So that's not happening. Unless there's some miracle resurgence, which is just not going to happen. This will be like, it's already forgotten. Like it's in the memory hole and it ain't getting out. The alleged executive added, if we can't take this piece of IP and make it successful, why is Amazon Studios even here? It has to succeed. There's no option, except it didn't. It didn't. So now you're in the no option territory because it flat out flopped. And good. The report appears to have panned out as Amazon Studios and Prime Video attempted to tout the success of the show in a press release announcing the making of the Rings of Power. Prime Video notes The Lord of the Rings of Power has an unprecedented global success viewed by over 100 million people worldwide and more than 24 billion minutes streamed, which means dick. Okay, it means dick. 100 million people watched it for how long?
Who knows?
How many people actively subscribe to Prime Video? They did not answer that. So yeah, I call bullshit. They continued a highly anticipated series attracted more than 25 million global viewers on its first day, but this is the only updated information is 24 billion minutes streamed. Marketing the biggest premiere in the history of Prime Video, and also debuted as #1 show on Nielsen's overall streaming chart in its opening weekend and fell off immediately. Oh, look at these. Look at these dudes. Yeah. Girls for Az right there. It might be have a large viewership numbers when it first released, but the declining number and complete fall off in just 2 weeks after its finale indicates people were unimpressed with what they saw and never came back to watch anymore. No, again, Ryan, if you're in the chat, you can come in, Ryan, if you want.
I'll send him
a link. But as Ryan pointed out in a couple of videos, the viewership dipped significantly from episode 1 to 2, and you may recall they aired the same night, and all she had to do was click to next episode, and people didn't want to just do this to the tune of, I think it was 20 to 30%. That's bad. That's bad. So losing a 30-year audience, or a quarter to a 30-year audience after the first episode, yeah. The fall off also indicates they aren't bringing in new viewers who might binge the show at once, which would boost total viewing minutes, as is seen with Dahmer still clinging on to the top 10 original list despite releasing all its episodes in September. And we're like well into the holidays now, so that's still left over from like Halloween stuff. What do you make of these Nielsen numbers? Oh, I think they're pretty obvious. And did they are they releasing a Blu-ray?
Are they?
I don't know. They are of House of the Dragon, because I pre-ordered. I couldn't believe it, but I did.
Wow.
I pre-ordered the Blu-ray 4K for House of the Dragon.
Nice. I don't know. Why would they do one? Does anyone care?
I don't know. Like, when is this making of the Rings of Power coming out? I'll be all over that. Like, stick on shit. I will be all over that. And it's the traveling. I have to talk to somebody. I have to finish writing. I've been writing a video for like 2 weeks on this. With some pretty good stuff. But if Ishmael Cruz, I need to corroborate that, far be it from me not to trust the OneRing.net just on word alone, because they've been wrong before. But yeah, I'll have to look into that. We tried yesterday on our phones, and all we found, if you search Ismael Cruz Cordova, the only news you will see is him standing up to the racist backlash. That's it. That's all. Like, nobody talks about his character, like what's going to happen to Aaron Deer in season 2. No, the only conversation is racist backlash. Zach Redpillar for $20 says, everyone talks about Disney acting weird and talking about conspiracies. Do you think they're just insolvent? They look on a lot of debt. They took on a lot of debt during COVID. Their credit lines are exhausted and their profits are dropping. Something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you think, Chris. I think to fire Bob Chapek the way they did, and believe me, it's a black eye, like something really fucking bad. Yeah. Like some chickens had to come home to roost for that to happen. I don't know what it is though. Any speculation, Chris, or do you think it's just the loss of $1.5 billion in a quarter?
I just stock price. Stock price is the main thing, and then also looking at the future. I mean, look, you can predict looking at how Marvel. And look, it's BS for them to say, well, there's superhero fatigue. What about Spider-Man No Way Home? Right? It's not superhero fatigue. It's just bad movies. Bad movies. So, and especially we look at almost everything is either losing money or the margin of profit is much smaller than what they're used to. So again, not sustainable if you're going to have a healthy business. It's just not.
It's not. And Hollywood's finding this out. They are finding this out. And like if you see, like, even in like Violent Night, like, it's like, why I don't know if that was a white dude or not, but it was a mixed race relationship with the little girl was cute though. She was good. She was actually good in that. So I liked her. It was pretty diverse, but not like horrible. Like, everybody like, yeah, like they had they had the cheesy Hollywood actor, which was kind of funny. Yeah, there's just a lot of violence and death, but you can still see like aspects of it. There's still like, and it doesn't feel natural because it's not, you know, I mean, it's okay. God, this might get clipped. It's okay to have two white people in a relationship. It's okay. It's all right. Like once in a while, you don't like, I'm not saying do it every time, but now they don't do it at all. It's like, somebody pointed out, and like, I haven't watched commercials in a long time. Holy shit. Oh my God. Wow. It's gotten like even worse than commercials. I'm glad I don't watch them in terrestrial TV anymore, but damn. Thelaman 3. The Lawman. I'm like, what the fuck? It's The Lawman 321. Jesus Christ, I fucked that one up. For $10 on the Streamlabs side. Thank you. Chris and Gary and Chris, do you believe that season 2 for the Rings of Power will double down on the woke, or will they head in a different direction based on the public sentiment around season 1?
Hard to say, because it's so weird. Like Hollywood works in a bubble, and it's kind of, you're constantly, when I look at like seminars being put on by SAG, or like what the chatter and what people in the industry talk about, or I read like insider newsletters like The Ankler and whatnot, they're obsessed with this. Like, it's not that like they consciously think, I don't believe that they're necessarily consciously thinking about, we have to make something woke. It's just how they operate in their brain. They don't see it. You know what I mean? It's like, does a goldfish know it's in water?
Well, exactly. Fucking John Trent, I think he wrote the article, says it right here. So with Bob Iger's, town hall yesterday, Chris Rufo put it out. Yeah, John F. Trent, like his headline game is so fucking good right now. It's I love it. So we will go here. Boom. Get over there. It says, Disney CEO Bob Iger claims he is the arbiter of what is right and wrong, confirms company will continue to promote acts of great depravity.
Oh my God.
Like, don't even fuck around. Why bother? So what John is saying there, well, he's saying exactly what he's saying. I'm not going to speak for him, but Bob, when he was generally talking about the parental rights issue that the host erroneously called the Don't Say Gay bill, which Bob Iger did not correct her on, while saying, hey, I'm going to try to quiet some of that stuff down. But I don't see that as a political issue. I see that as a right, basically, I'm paraphrasing, a right and wrong issue. And I agree. It is 100% wrong to sexualize children. Period. End of story. Having men dance around with their wang flopping around in front of kids is it's against the law, and it should be enforced, and it is in some places and it isn't in others, which is very disappointing. But I just wonder what's really behind the person who supports this. Well, I know the answer. It's a rhetorical question.
Right.
Fucking rhetorical question. But this man he's a fucking coward, and he's only going to do what's best for him, and his fucking ego brought him back, because this is a loser. Like, if I was him, I'd have said no. I'd have said fuck no. But no, his ego got the best of him, and good. As Disney dies, it should have the guy who was the architect with it. And then, if it sells to Apple, by the way, that's Disney being dead. I mean, it's already kind of dead, but that's Disney really being dead in the same way Marvel's died when it sold to Disney. Star Wars died when it sold to Disney. It stopped being what it was. And if Disney sold to Apple, that's fucking so bad. You don't even know how bad that is.
Gary, I mean, look, a lot of people speculate about the inner workings of studios and what they're doing. I think Disney is at the point now that they're going to need to, in order to get to financial stability and just being healthy, because economy doesn't look like it's going to get better. It just doesn't, in the next couple of years. We're in for some rough times. I think that he's going to look at selling some of these properties off. I think at some point, Disney's become so big they can't own every IP.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible? Like,
yes.
Apple TV Plus, they want to get big. What do? They buy Marvel. They could do that. They could buy Star Wars. They could get Pixar, which would be
a vanity project too. Does Apple need to make fucking TV?
Who knows? Has there been a hit? You know, other than Ted Lasso, do you know about any other Apple TV Plus show? I mean, some of them are very good and they've had some good movies. I mean, their movie won Best Picture last year, and it's, in my mind, is kind of a sort of would be normally like a forgettable kind of film festival movie.
What won Best Picture again?
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, this is how memorable the Oscars are. It's such an innocuous name. Now I'm going to look it up.
Remember when you used to be able to rattle off at least the last? Was it Coda? Yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, it's Coda. A Led Zeppelin album.
No, I remember seeing it, and I was just like, with my friend, it's like they're pushing it for awards, and it's like, oh, I can see, you know, based on what, you know, the story is about. It's a young woman who has parents who are deaf, and they use sign language, and just kind of wants to, you know, it's a coming of age thing, you know, involving music and people who are, it's just like all those things, all those elements. And there's a 3-legged dog. You know what I mean? It's just like all the sort of like checklist of there isn't in this, but there is in Strange World. There's like a dumb checklist of like, there's a dumb checklist of like,
there's so many like, parodies I could like, you know, like another teen movie, right? Like another Academy Award winning movie. Just like do a parody of like retarded deaf.
Gary, we could make that movie, you know.
A family with like 4 3-legged dogs. Just
oh my
god, the comedy that would come out of that. Oh no.
that may be a deal with Disney. Like maybe Disney keeps merchandising for some of these things so they can still keep the theme park stuff and doing, you know, some merch, but maybe the actual content is produced by some other studio. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of options for Bob Iger on the table, but I don't have confidence that he's not going to make things less woke. It's like I said, it's Hollywood is a goldfish, and a goldfish that doesn't know it's in water. It can't see it. It's just,
that's a good, yeah. No, as John pointed out, they so believe that they are in the right with what they're doing, and they have no understanding of what they're doing. These are vapid, shallow people thinking they're doing the right thing with doing the amount of work that vapid, shallow people do, which is fucking none. So they have no fucking idea what's right and wrong anymore. That you're right. They're so trapped in their bubble, and you know, they're smug farts. South Park. Tony A, thanks for becoming a member. Rings of Bezos actually made me cancel my Prime membership after ruining this. Will never get a quality Lord of the Rings series released now. Same with The Witcher, Wheel of Time, etc. Sad to see IPs ruined. Yeah, you know, like Lord Photon for $10. I think fantasy would be immensely popular if it was adapted correctly. Like it would be the thing right now. It would take over superheroes. It would be the thing. There's so much unadapted fantasy out there, but unfortunately, Me Too Time's Up is still in effect. By the way, these organizations are dead. The whole thing is dead. She said, being one of the biggest flops of the year. Strange Worlds being one of the biggest flops. There's been a lot of biggest flops of the year. And don't forget, this year had the lowest box office weekend in 25 years. And that was the week The Woman King was released to quote unquote impressive numbers on the worst box office weekend in 25 years. Like, and the box office is off 50%. Like, you don't lose 50% of your fucking revenue from 3 years ago and just like everything's fine. Alyssa Milano, vice president, would be the funniest movie, or just Alyssa, President Milano. President Milano. Or Idiocracy 2. That's what I would just call it. Idiocracy 2.
Yeah, I don't know. It's look, I think it's such a ripe time for a comedy that mocks all of this stuff.
Yep.
Like I don't get why something like that is not fast tracked with like some grizzled, seasoned, and experienced writers. Something that nearly the reason that everything sucks these days is because of that element is lacking. Grizzled, seasoned, veteran writers is what Hollywood needs right now.
Yeah. They need that old school guy. He still smokes cigarettes inside, doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. But no. That tricky dude for 10 Canadian pesos says, also, is this the wrong venue to request saxophone music for X-Ray Girl's next shelf building stream? No, this is the right place.
I will take that into consideration. I just have to find music.
Yeah, I mean, you got your background music in Streamlabs. You know that, right?
No.
Oh yeah.
So you go to brand, and you scroll all the way down. We can do it here. Let's do it here.
Oh, StreamYards or StreamLabs?
I'm sorry, StreamYards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang on.
Brand. Oh yeah, I see at the bottom here. Okay. Is there sax music though? Oh my god, can we play Feeding the Ducks?
Okay.
Oh, this is definitely not Feeding Ducks.
Yeah.
You're feeding the duck, but
I don't know which kind of duck I was thinking. Quack, quack.
No, baby, feed the duck. Yeah. Oh, you can add your own music in the bottom. Feeding the ducks. That's right.
I might build shelves to Feeding the Ducks. What do you think?
Mallards.
Quack, quack. I can't. Okay, cool. Thank you for the recommendation.
There you go. Little flair to your bimbo building streams. The left is fine with indoctrinating kids because most of them don't have any. Oh, most of them don't have any. The ones that do are only too willing to offer them up for the woke mob for approval. Oh, you mean like all those actors with trans kids now? That just happened. What's so weird? And that's been coming for a while. I told the story where I was at my wife's salon. I saw one of her clients, and she had her son there, who was then her daughter. And this was in 2018, like a year before COVID. And I had to leave. I was so pissed. I was like, oh, kids are not a fucking accessory, you pieces of shit. Fucking pieces of shit. You are a piece of shit if you do that to your kid. You're fucking the lowest of the low. Eric John Pizza Art, like, dude, that'd be like my dad going, okay, let's buy Gary some more meth. Same fucking thing. That's what you're doing to your kid. Good luck with those therapy bills. Eric John Pizza Art for $4.99. People are sick of all the remakes. Agreed. Dreading the inevitable remake of Never Ending Story. No, gotta make sure our kids watch the classics first. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Buy a physical copy. Show it to your kids. Thank you, Eric. By the way, appreciate it. Taryn the Black for $9.99. I sent you a super chat yesterday about not taking my daughter to see Strange World and going to half price books instead. Oh, good. I posted the haul on Discord under bagging and boarding. You all enjoy this. Hell yeah. I can't show off my books because they're over there. I got a bunch of God, I hate to support. Oh, fucking, it was Humanoids, but dude, it's all the French band dessinée. You know, I don't know where my hardcover, the Inkle, went, so I got the Inkle, and it's really fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. And you pronounce his name right. I don't. Jodorowsky.
Yeah, Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky. Like, so he's got a library. I got 2 of his library volumes that are fucking awesome. I think I just called him Jordowski or something like that forever.
Oh, whatever.
It just kind of sticks. I loved Willow as a kid. I read that one. Leon K.
Oh. Okay, I might not have been here.
It's okay. It's all right. You're off feeding the ducks. Wait.
No. Those are dogs, not ducks. Oh my God, stop.
Oh, by the way, Gary, on the StreamYard, you can actually upload audio clips.
Yeah.
You can upload your own music.
Oh, yeah. I like feeding the ducks.
Gary's obsessed with feeding the ducks now. He's been away from Mrs. Nerdrotic too long.
No comment. I have inner strength. Okay. I went to prison for 2 years.
Gary did not drop the soap.
I did not drop the soap. I did not, I just didn't think about things I couldn't partake in. That's a way to make it worse. Listen to Folsom Prison Blues. That song kind of says it all. Says it all. Charles for $10 says also, how much do you guys think Disney's going to walk back to the woke stuff? And do you think it'll just become more subliminal? I don't think they are, Charles. I don't think Bob Iger is very good at talking a very big game and doing fucking nothing. Kathleen Kennedy's still there. That should be like, if you were Disney and you meant business, you would get rid of her immediately. Like, I wouldn't wait for fucking Indiana Jones. I don't care. You just put a lot of effort into a Star Wars show to the point where you weren't using volume. You were using real set. So Andor cost twice as much as probably fucking Boba Fett did. Just think about that. And it's losing money. It's like, that's it. You had 10 years. You're done. But they didn't. Bob Chapek had all the time. Like, he could have fired anybody he wanted to, but he didn't. He had what, a year. What did Zaslav do in his first 2 months? Yeah. Canceled a fucking movie and fired a bunch of people, And yeah, it's a slightly different situation. One company is massively in debt. Well, Disney's well on their way. They're well on their way to hitting bottom, but I guess they need to hit it first. But for anybody who thinks, like any of our speculation is ignorant to what's going on at Disney, I mean, just as ignorant as anybody else is, I guess. I think it's pretty easy to figure out, to read between the lines on this shit. I think it's pretty simple. They're not doing very well. And they fired the CEO who was ineffective, and they brought in a guy who they perceive as effective and who they refuse to believe is the architect of all their failures. I think that's your simplest answer. These people don't understand culture and fandom, but they're in the business of it. And ultimately they will fail. Mr. Tickle Trunk for 20 Canadian pesos. Guys, James Gunn just tweeted an image of Superman Kingdom Come and said, making plans. Whoa, really? Oh, could you find that, Chris? Could you find that? Shit. Do you think this is the tell if he's fishing to see what the fan reaction is? He also included some sick Spotify music hint in another.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'll put it in the private channel.
The one thing James Gunn did really well before he started like TDSing out, which I would hope he dials back on now that he's a studio executive, but we'll see. I think he will. Is he was really good at communicating with fans about Guardians. If you remember, the lead up to Guardians 2, he would just talk about his movie all the time, right? So I hope we get more of that James Gunn, and that's good. But do I have high hopes? Yeah. For anybody saying like they're not going to lead with Superman, they're going to fucking lead with Superman. Like, hello.
Do you think they'll do, like, Gary, like a very definitive, like, okay, this movie sets off the Gunniverse, the DC Gunniverse, or whatever we're gonna like I don't know if Gunniverse has like it does. I don't know if it has a good ring. But it's just sort of like from here on, this is because so much of what's left over is sort of like, you know, shards of the Snyderverse, right? It's the Flash movie, you know, Aquaman 2. Like, do people have a stomach for that? And I'm sure, I don't know. I'm sure some of that is going to be decent, but I mean, Aquaman was okay. And Aquaman 2 sounds like a train wreck. So
Aquaman 2 rated lower than Batgirl, and so did Black Adam in test screenings.
Yeah, and then you've got the second Shazam movie. How does he like get a control under this? Like, okay, starting from here, it's new. Like, you know,
yeah, I would say like the first thing he directs or the first thing he fully produces, we'll just start from here. And like Zach, what's his fucking name from Shazam is fine as Shazam.
Yeah.
The Rock is fine as Black Adam. I mean, like I would stick with the casting other than Ezra Miller's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra Miller's going to go, and you know, Jason Momoa, he's fine as Aquaman, whatever. But yeah, I'd stick with some of the casting, but like just start over and say that they're, you know, like use Flashpoint, use whatever you want, or just say we're starting over. We're starting over with this cast, and see what happens. But you got to start with Superman. Like you got to start with Superman. Yeah. But dude, if you're like, that's fucking awesome. It could mean, look, it's Superman at a table and they're about to make a plan. That's what it could mean.
Right.
If you have Superman in the middle, you know, like this is a man who directs for a living. So imagery is everything. And each image needs to tell more than one basic story. Like it's got layers, you know, so there's layers here. I think Henry Cavill's doing just fine. And I think they're going to have him be Superman. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, I'm going to let you go because I know you got another stream to do.
I got to do it.
And I'm going to wrap up these soups.
All right. I do like that image from James Gunn. Gary, too. So maybe is it not too late in the show? Is it too late in the show now to show the Empire Strips Back? Like,
oh, we can do it.
Like the link is in there. So a couple quick things. Film Threat. We're going live at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So in an hour, you'll see me and Alan Ng. We're going to be talking about new indie movies and a lot of different stuff. And then Gary, I'll be seeing you probably about like, maybe we'll leave like 4:30.
Yeah.
So. Will you be back from Burbank in time?
Yeah, I'll be back from Burbank.
Cool. All right. I'll hit you up. X-Ray Girl, always fun to hang out.
Yeah.
Hail to the chat. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next week. And Gary, I'll see you in a few hours.
See you in a few hours, dude.
Okay.
Have a good stream. Tell Alan what's up.
All right. Later. Bye.
Bye, Chris.
Later. I got to meet Alan at Violent Night. Nice guy. All right. We're going to wrap these soups up, folks. And I got a square up coming up tonight. I had to add to it from Real BBC. It's recorded, but it'll be on Nerdrotic Live. Bridge Burner Boyle for 5 Belgian pesos, maybe BGNs. It's just a guess. I could be wrong. Netflix are now having the original 1997 Berserk anime. Whoa, really? Do yourselves a favor and go drown in it. Just be warned, it's not really for kids. Good. Okay, then I will watch that this weekend. I've been wanting to watch that anyway. Thanks to your husband, I discovered Berserk.
Oh, it's so good.
He's the one who talked me into it. Yeah. That's right, dog. Matthew Hammond for $9.99. Best as good as it gets quote. When asked, how do you write a woman well? Jack Nicholson's character responds, I think of a man and take away reason and accountability. Oh. What do you think about that, X-Ray Girl?
There's a couple more things, but that I would take away. But yeah, reason, accountability. Especially at the time of the month, okay? Just avoid us. It's fine.
It's fine.
It comes back eventually.
AS for 5 Canadian. No comment from me. AS 5 Canadian pesos. Thank you, Nerdrotic, for fighting the good fight. Your Rings of Power reviews were spiritual healing. Oh, thanks. It's cathartic, and it was all because of you guys, right? It's reciprocal. Last super, as I'm going to on a plane to Vegas for 2 weeks. Oh, dude, Grizzly, enjoy it. Thank you for the $20. God, I want to get excited for a Superman movie. I'm just worried they'll go Superman is evil route. Then that's been happening since the Justice games and comics. Yeah, I'm fucking sick of it, dude. I am like you, and you know that. You've been around a long time. The Superman is bad trope is fucking done. I'm like, Homelander did it, Irredeemable did it, fucking Miracle Man did it. Like, it's been done to death. What we need is a heroic Superman. I don't think Henry Cavill would come back for evil Superman. I just don't. I mean, like, some of the first words out of his mouth were joy, inspiration, you know, like that kind of stuff. That tricky dude for 10 Canadian pesos. HBO makes all its money from hotel skin fiddling. True facts. I don't understand. George Lucas and Chris Claremont wrote the Shadow Moon books as part of the Willow Saga. Why would they not just use the source material? Steve Holt for $5. Good question. Probably because they don't want to pay Chris Claremont residuals, something stupid like that. And yes, I remember those books. That was back in the day when George Lucas's name on something wasn't like, it was rare. It was rare. And it meant like you at least tried it. Like if you're a Star Wars fan, anything that man's name was on, you bought. I got those books. But this is starting like, oh, George Lucas is fallible. That was my first thought when it came to Willow. It's like, oh, he's fallible after especially the Ewoks. I was like, what's going on here? And then Willow comes out and you're like, oh. It wasn't all George. It was other people too. Good to hear you are continuing your adult education, bruv. On and remember, fuck. What is WOTC? What is WOTC? I know what that is. Man of War. Oh, Wizards of the Coast. Yes. Fuck Wizards of the Coast. Those woke wankers. Peter Yannick for 10 British pounds. Thank you for the donation. And Man of War 65, the neighbor of the beast. Lord Photon. Instead of killing plants with giving them what they need, electrolytes, they're killing the fandom, giving them what they need. Cringe wokeness by giving them what they need. Cringe wokeness and intersectional feminism. Yes. Which could all be considered wokeness. Like, I mean, you know, when people say woke, I think for the most part, they know that there's a specific difference between the intersectionalism. Like Willow is intersectional as hell. Okay. As absolute hell. And that is clear in the first 2 minutes. Reiko like Disney is just basically, stories have themes. They're just repeating the same theme over and over and over again with no diversity and no inclusion of other themes. Theme, fine. Message, bad. What are your thoughts on Bob Iger telling Disney employees he wants to has respect for the audience and no disdain for their views? Give you any hope? No, I think that guy will just say anything he needs to say. Sorry, that's just my take. I think he's a scumbucket. Blue Crossroads $4.99. Still waiting to see which actress Marvel is going to cast as Dr. Doom. I agree too. Leslie Jones, Blue Crossroads. Leslie Jones will be Dr. Doom. She'll be playing Reed Richards and Dr. Doom. Chris Fredericks for $4.99. Gary, I'll gladly drive up from North County for the show tonight. I emailed you. Haven't seen you since your San Diego meetup, says Chris. Oh, right on. Well, come on up. We can, I think, I don't know if Melissa got the email or not. If not, then I'll get it and I'll forward you the information if you are indeed the first person. I mean, we'll have, like, if it's more than a couple of people, we'll probably be able to get you in. Chris got a lot of tickets.
I see some ticket emails, so.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thunderstorm for $4.99. Woke 4 starring Karl Marx will be an interesting train wreck. Will Andy Dick play the Invisible Woman? Maybe. Warren Mason, when he gets out of jail, they wanted a Court of Owls and Hush storyline for Batman sequel. Yeah, you're doing too much there. Stick with Court of Owls. I mean, Hush is about somebody coming back. I would put that one way off. I know that they were setting it up, though. Jolly Roger, do you get my email regarding the collab of a Song of Ice and Fire YouTubers, The Order of the Green Hand? They are super insightful, based, and fun. Please talk to them. I know the Order of the Green Hand, Jolly Roger. I'll talk to them if they want. I don't know if they've heard of me, but I've heard of them. I've watched them for a while. John Kozinski DP for $5. Hello, did you know that HP Lovecraft Historical Society made the Call of the Cthulhu a silent movie? I did. I did. Truly a labor of love you all, and hail FNT, and hail to you. I did. I would just love to see a proper adaptation of it. I think it would be good. Wagon Burner for $5. Anyone else notice the girl in the Willow trailer was using modern fletched arrows in her quiver? I did not notice that, but Shad will, and you noticed too. Wagon, good. Hitchhiker 42 for £2 British. Let Gunn do a Power Girl film to make money. Yeah, like Boob Window, the movie. That's what it would need to be. All Terrain Nation $4.99. Have you all watched Cocaine Bear trailer yet? Do it now. Funny. We saw it. We actually watched it right before the show started. It's pretty
really
fun.
Good.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Patrick Banks for $5. To be fair, every Godzilla movie has a human story. It does. But the Japanese just do it better. They just do it better. Thunderstorm for $4.99. When will they merge Star Wars and Marvel together into one pile of woke? I would argue that they have. The stories aren't crossed over, but man, they're the same. They're the fucking same. Like message-wise, theme-wise, is there any difference between Star Wars and Marvel right now? The answer is no. Like Star Wars is MCU. Stephen T for £5 British. Hey, Gary, I sent you Thanksgiving super chat about my father passing away on Saturday night. Rest in peace. Dennis, world is a dark place without you. Aw. I read that in the square up. I'm sorry about that again. Sorry, Stephen. May he rest in peace. Yeah, Pop's dying around the holidays. I mean, Pop's dying sucks, but my Pop's died 5 days before Christmas. So, yeah. Rebecca Gold, what's up, Ian? For £5 British, mate. What did you think of the last Bond movie? And do you think the films are going forward will be tainted by the message? I hated the last Bond movie with like the purplest of passions. And I think based on what Barbara Broccoli said, I have no hope. Like the fact that like Henry Cavill should probably be Bond. There's a couple of others, but no, it's going to be like Timothy Chalamet as Bond. It'll be like this wafy, skinny modernity boy, beta boy. Oh, dude, if they make Bond bi, I think they will. Oh man, not applicable for $5. Women like true crime because they're sheltered and self-traumatized. Think they're studying to learn how to know if men around them are dangerous. I mean, like,
it's kind of true.
It's kind of like, listen, I'm walking down the street in LA, right? And nobody knows me, right? So, like, when you're a dude and you're walking down the street and you see a girl walking the other way, you know what she's thinking? Is this guy gonna fucking hit me or something like that? Like, you know, like that's the reality of our world, especially in LA. And that you'd be stupid if you weren't thinking that in LA. I'm walking down the street going, shit, if I see some homeless people, I'm gonna have my head in a swivel because like people are getting attacked now, you know? But that's women have to think about that all the time, like all the time. And it's kind of like being, I hate to use this analogy though, but it's like being in prison mode. Like when you're in prison at all times, you got to wonder, am I going to get attacked? Is today the day? And yeah.
The worst part is when you go like on a date. So you don't want to get into trouble. Not always in a public place, Yep. Don't go to the person's house unless you trust them. Type of stuff. So
doesn't happen as much for dudes as it does for girls, but it happens.
Can.
Yeah. Jilly writes, but yeah, the reason they like true crime though, maybe it's just like in The Bad Boy. I mean, like all the murderers have girl pen pals, like lots of them. All the guys in death row and shit. It's fucking weird. Gilly writes comics for $5. Hail Gary, Chris. This is why we need to support new IPs like Galactic Rodent of Mayhem and stop holding our breath for mainstream to stop pandering. We need to simultaneously support new things, but we can't abandon the mainstream unless we have to abandon it or we have to facilitate its crash and burn. One of the two. We can't abandon it though. We can't abandon it. We've got to change it. We don't have a choice. It's an institution in our culture. Pop culture is culture. Walking away from it will not work. If we're going to support independent properties, which we need to do, but ultimately, and maybe it's yours, maybe it's Galactic Rodents of Mayhem, these independent properties can't be just a bunch of one-shots. They need to be a continued, consistent success. All right, so you want to be supportive. I would say if you're going out to do a comic, make sure you're doing it for fun first. I think if your total motivation is just profit, you're doing a piece of art that requires a piece of passion. I think you have to ultimately, this is a story I want to tell and I'm doing it for fun. And then I would love to make some money off it, but focus on that story part first. Don't put your, don't count your, what is it? Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Don't put the cart before the horse. So if we're going to compete in the creative space with, against institutions that are never going to go away. So abandoning them is just not an option unless you're just going to go live in a cave and unplug from the internet forever, which I guess that could be an option. We need to make sure that these things change. They have to change. And if they don't fucking change, then we're fucked. Scully Casey for $5. McDwarf described Rings of Power best. Who's McDwarf? Who's McDwarf? It's a tale about. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. It's a tale told by an idiot about idiots. Not applicable for $2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a troll war on the Mario movie. I saw some back and forth. I don't know anything about Mario. You know more. Do you know anything about Mario?
The only thing that I heard that people don't like is his accent that he uses. It's not the typical, it's me, Mario.
It's Mario.
Yeah, so they don't use that.
So, okay. But I mean, is everybody okay with everything else? So there's a girl boss in it?
I don't know. And then I saw Jeremy's tweet about Peach being like Rey Skywalker. And I don't know. I didn't watch the trailer, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I will defer to you guys on this. Okay. By the way, probably playing Mario before most of you. I'm just gonna say that. I'm old. I was playing Donkey Kong. I had ColecoVision. I got ColecoVision because I was really fucking good at Donkey Kong. Okay, I was really good at that game. That's my last experience with it, was ColecoVision. So I just wanted to say that. I don't I know that Nintendo's like it's got its super fans, and bless them, and I hope they get what they want. If they don't, then well, that's what. Shit, here we go again. Russian bot 1918 for $4.99. Every Ever hear that the fappening was just Weinstein's phone being hacked? Way more believable than hundreds of celebs being hacked via iPhone glitch. I did not hear that, but that, like, could I see Weinstein going, I need a picture of you naked and I'll get you an Academy Award. Yeah. Yeah. Guy was a monster. Guy was a piece of shit. Guess what? LA's still filled with them. Like, nothing has fucking changed. LA did what LA does. Hollywood does what Hollywood. It's America is the land of opportunity. It's still the land of opportunity. There's no way I could have ever made it in any other country the way I made it now with all the fuck ups I've made. So, but if America is the land of opportunity, then Hollywood is the land of opportunism. So even if there is a legit movement that needed to be dealt with for years, I mean, back to the Fatty Arbuckle days where he killed somebody, Hollywood was about, they were going to make it about themselves, and they were going to try to monetize it, and they were going to try to frame it to where it's the audience. We weren't the ones who were racist. We weren't the ones excluding people. It's the audience didn't want it. And it's like, no, the audience just wants a good story. And now Hollywood is incapable of even telling an original one. So they have to focus on the corporatism has now taken over. And yeah, everything that we look at now, it certainly looks like boxes are being checked first, because they are. And what this had to do, somehow they made sexual harassment about inclusivity and diversity, which are two separate issues, but they managed to conflate them and tried to make them one. And all it did was make Jar Jar Abrams and his wife a lot of fucking money, and others too. A lot of people benefited from Me Too Time's Up who were not victims of sexual harassment. They are opportunist pieces of shit. And that's what Hollywood is now. Hollywood is not made the most creative person win. It's the person who is the most gifted at bullshit, which is Jar Jar Abrams, one of the best ever. He is the Spielberg of bullshit. Anakbaman, abuser of Streamlabs, for $5. Here's how you save the Rings of Power. Completely recast the show and say the first season was a dream that Galadriel had while Patrick Duffy was in the shower after roofing her. Did I go too far on that joke? Maybe a little bit. Appy on for $1.99. Have you checked out the English Great Western? No, but I will, because I love Westerns. Evil Housewife for $2. Disbrew has a couple of videos on the making of
the Rings of Power.
Yeah. Oh, did they do it already?
Apparently.
I've been traveling because I can center my video around that. That would actually make a lot of sense.
Oh.
Well, I can incorporate it. I
The
can
one for
incorporate it. I mean,
tomorrow?
that one's not getting done until I get home. So we got another one coming out, I think tomorrow. I haven't checked the Discord. Is Perry alive? Is Quarter Black alive? Is he still alive?
Quarter Black is alive. Perry said it should be done as long as he stays awake
Oh,
or something like that, or working on it and staying awake.
gotcha.
Doesn't
Okay.
plan on stopping.
Quarter Black's been under the weather.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Poor QBG.
Poor QBG and his family. Angel is my favorite TV show. David Boreanaz has been the star of his own show for 23 years. Thought he would have made a good Batman. Tommy J, I did too. I mean, but essentially, Angel is a superhero show. It's a superhero show, straight up. But Angel's it's in my top 3. It's definitely in my top 3.
He's so handsome.
Yeah, my wife agrees with you. Everybody said he's dumb as a bag of hammers. A friend of mine told me his scripts had to have bigger words. I'm like, then I'm dumb as a bag of hammers, because that's what I need. because I can't see that small writing and shit. Speaking of remakes, how about a Tremors remake starring Gary and Ryan, Kathleen Kennedy as the graboid, female empowerment? That'd be that would be kind of funny with me and Ryan. Eric John Pizza Artist for $4.99. I'm like the tired old grizzly guy heading towards retirement, and Ryan's like the young gun. Totally. Fat Boy from Hell for $4.99. The Meta Barons from Jodorowsky is the best space opera ever. You are correct. And I bought the hardcover, volume 1 of the Meta Barons. Dude. There's so much like good shit they could adapt, but they won't now. Back in the conversation with remakes, I'm not a fan of most, but Last Starfighter, as long as they just stuck to the story, what would you guys want? Something original. Like I would like a proper adaptation of Meta Barons, Inkal, Conan. I mean, Elric. That's what I'd like to see. I mean, not in a different world where CERN didn't blink us into this fucking hellscape, dumb fuck reality that we're in right now. In the world from like 15 years ago, maybe. Kilo Harrison for $5. I love the show. Reboot on Hulu. The writer's room scenes are hilarious. Unlike Jordan Peele, Keegan Michael Key hasn't forgotten how to be funny.
Reboot,
yeah. Dave Oric says a single father of a 15-year-old girl, X-ray girl equals based. Based. Are you? Well, good for you.
Good luck for that age.
Yeah.
Is all I have to say.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
This is where boys are just like
a breeze in comparison. Breeze. Yeah.
When they're 15, they just kind of don't want to do anything to do with you. I mean, like getting them to fucking do something, whatever. They'll eat you out of house and home, but there's no like meltdowns and none of that shit. Stephen Jordan for $4.99. How much money does Disney have to lose before course change? $1.5 billion caused a course change. So I think we got a number. I mean, whether that's a tangible number, whether it's worse than that, I'll never know. None of us will ever fucking know. But according to what we were seeing, what we have seen in public, $1.5 billion in losses in one area is enough to fire your CEO in the middle of the night on a Sunday. You can't undersell that. And I know, like people were like, he just got replaced with the I know. But Disney doesn't do shit like this. They don't. No, they fired Gina Carano for making Instagram fucking tweets, but they don't fire their fucking CEO at a concert. So fuck the black pillars, okay? Stick those black pills up your ass, okay? Dude, if we don't say anything, none of this shit happens. None of this with the Rings of Power. And it's because a lot of us have been on it for a long time. We stuck with it. We stayed on point. We kept our eye on the prize and didn't get distracted by stupid shit like drama. So well done, Fellowship. Well done, especially with Rings of Power. That's total victory. That's total victory. Yeah, the show sucked. We kind of knew that was going to happen. But you beat them at every turn on the narrative, as far as the story, as far as the narrative that the Access Media tried to craft, and a lot of them just fucking gave up. A lot of them gave up because they saw the sheer numbers of Tolkien fans that were just like, no, man. Every time something would pop up, it'd be done. You'd be slapping it back down. It was great. God, it was great. And now it's happening with Disney. It's so well done. Well done. Tip of the hat. You're doing good. I think there's a lot of white pills to go around. Oh, and Elon taking over Twitter. You know, that all this happening around the same time. Universe tends to unfold as it should. Nicholas Horton for $2. Thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Lord Photon for $5. And this is the last one, right? Is it true Eddie Munson's character was based on you, Gary? No. No. based on he is a conglomerate. I think everybody had a friend like him in high school in the 80s, especially in California. But he is a conglomerate. He is a split between Melissa knows him too, our friends Ronnie Montgomery and John Cleary. Like if you merged Ronnie Montgomery and John Cleary, you would get Eddie. And like we had a ton of dude, I had a ton of friends. And they hated me at first because I was punk rock. They fucking wanted nothing to do with me. Thought I was a poser, and I kind of was at first, you know. You always just start out as a poser. But then when I started listening to Metallica in the smoke, because my school had a smoking section. That's how fucking old I was. And am. My school had a smoking section. And I'd be in the smoking section by myself because nobody fucking liked me. Listening to Metallica, and all of a sudden, like the metalheads started hanging out with me and the hardcore guys. And we came fast friends and started getting really fucking high. But those were the days. Metallica brought a lot of the hardcore people together, whether people want to admit that or not. And then it like Metallica was your gateway into like way more evil, good music. You know what I'm saying? So John Buono, thank you for the 10 Polish pesos, PLN, Poland. I just assume the denomination starts with the first letter of your country, and that's just wrong in every count. But
you were correct.
I was correct. All right, Polish peso. Hey, sorry about The Witcher. Really sorry about The Witcher. The books are damn good, though. Books are good. All right, let's wrap it up, lady. Anything you'd like to plug?
Just the shirt again. Yeah. This is the last day of November. Right. Yeah, it is. You can get the Hot D shirt, where I'm riding a very phallic dragon holding the Dark Sister sword. All the proceeds are going towards families affected by prostate cancer. So if you want to support the D like I do, you can get a shirt. It's on flagranttriggers.com, which I'm sure the mods are dropping. And then I will be going live tonight playing Dark Tide since it's out officially. So yeah.
Oh. So is Quarter Black going to join you?
I'm not sure, but I can already see Az playing it, so I'm sure I'm going to be playing that with Az soon.
All right. Since we're talking about Az, I'm really terrible at plugging these plushies. So we have 13 days, 20 hours, 23 minutes, and 37 seconds left on the plushie. It's $27.99. It's me as a wizard. If you get Hot Dog Man with me, you get 10% off. And
yeah, by the way, these plushies make great tree toppers. I have the Mauler and Critical Drinker on top of my tree. I've been trying to decide between a star and an angel, and I landed on that. So
I think that's a good place to land. Thank you for Fika Hammond for $4.99. Your counsel has been sage. Thank you. Yeah. I try. There's so many, God dang it, like the midterms for Republicans didn't go perfectly. So that's the end of the world. Shut up. Take your fucking wins. Nobody's ever gonna win completely. That's just not gonna happen. Take our wins, learn from them, move on. Like there's still like there is a culture war. It is happening, and it's going to happen for a while now. And just abandoning shit is just not going to work. It's just never going to work. You got to fight. You're going to fight, or you're not going to fight. There's only one of those things that's going to create some change. If you're out there making alternative entertainment stuff, fully support it. Do it. But as I said before, if you're going to compete against the big boys, you need to be good and consistent. Good and consistent. And it's evolution. And I think we're at the time where we need to start being a little more consistent on the creative side. You can talk a long game all you want. Produce. And we will support you. But enough talk. Enough fucking talk. And, leave the talk to us who don't create anything. And we just comment. We are the alternative media. That's what we are. If that's creative, I guess. But, I don't know. That's up to you to decide, not me. But I'm not going to make a comic or write a book or anything like that. I'm just going to do what I do and mind my own business. Mind my own fucking business. So thank you all for supporting us here at the Nerdrotic Nooner, Real BBC, Friday Night Tights. We appreciate you all. You guys are great. We are nothing without you. Square Up will be recorded tonight. It'll be finished. I got to finish up the Real BBC from yesterday. And that'll be up tonight. And I will go check the email. We had 2 tickets available for the Empire Strips Back. So the first person who responded, who can actually make it, will get them. And what I'm going to do is just send you the details. If you didn't win, I'll reply and say, sorry. And I think we only have 2 tickets, but I'll check. Maybe we have more. And that's it. I got a video coming out tomorrow. And Friday Night Tights with Gothics. Disparu will be joining us as well. Yes. So that'll be fun. No Az, because his bro's in town. And got to spend time with family. But we got Disparu. So we have some actual British representation, finally.
More than usual.
More than usual. So thanks, X-Ray Girl. And this will be up on Nerdrotic Live in a couple hours. Ciao, everyone.
Wait, can we do one more thing?
Sure. Feeding the ducks.
Feeding the ducks.
Go out feeding the ducks. If you're going to feed the ducks, everyone, remember, it'll make you go blind.